Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today, I thought of sharing with you a new song by Aurora, and it's called "Weight," the weight of listening. No, sorry, the weight of missing. Sorry, could work that both ways. But anyway, so I thought it was I thought I heard it yesterday, and I thought it was amazing, really something special. So what I did is I put the like lyrics in intervals so that they remind me to stop, because or else it's not going to get through the copyright rules, which seem to have changed to the worse. It's gotten worse. And it's very difficult to get it through nowadays. I don't know why, and I've had trouble with in particular older reactions that I did, of Aurora's Nidarosdomen concert there, the concert in Norway, with the cathedral and everything. A very peculiar thing, that occurred, that I started getting copyright claims, but not from Aurora's company or Aurora, but for somebody else. And then they were disregarded by YouTube until the last ones, which they then said the claims were good. It was very confusing. I even spoke to the management of Aurora concerning it, and I interacted with them, and they said they were aware of the situation and they were going to take care of it. I haven't seen any changes yet, so we'll see what happens with that. So the whole thing is very confusing. So that's what I just wanted to explain. The whole thing in general, the whole world is confusing nowadays, as many of you probably have ascertained. And this particular song deals with the loss of someone, which is sort of in a way timely to something that I just did. I put up a video just a couple of days ago from Norm Macdonald, who was talking about death. What people in the interview may not have realized, that he was confronting death, and he's talking about it because he was actually confronting death throughout periods of his life, but especially the last decade of his life, where he knew he had a somewhat of a terminal illness, in the sense it would be very difficult for him to recover from what he was going through, and he ultimately died from that. So but it gets very few views, because people are not interested in discussing that, and YouTube is allergic to that topic because they want to be entertaining, right? The social media sites are, let's say, the last places where the truth wants to be. Let's put it this way. Actually, I wrote a novel that concerns that, death, and the whole idea behind it, the significance of it, because to understand life, you have to. I think it's necessary to understand what death is, because anyway, and the novel that I wrote is basically a metaphor to understanding that. And for those who have read it, hopefully that's what you got out of it. And I think maybe from what I can tell, maybe I'm starting at a level where most people may not be at when I speak about things of that nature, from a spiritual perspective. I'm not sure, So I don't know. I think hopefully, Aurora, who seems to be somewhat of an insightful person, especially with her lyrics, I think she has that aptitude, to understand the depths of such a thing. And I think she does, because she's always on that line of understanding, of knowing that there's something more to life, there's something else. And this song is a reflection of that, of her insight. Actually, I had sent her a copy of my novel. I never received a response, maybe because my novel might not be as entertaining as some people might find it. It's a science fiction novel, so maybe she's more into the fantasy type of things. Or if you're there listening, so, I don't know if you've ever actually got the novel, and even if you didn't like it, let me know. It'd be cool, because like I said, I think her ability and her level of insight, I think I thought she would appreciate it, yeah, so that's about it. I don't know what else to say about that, except if you guys want to read it and you want to help me out by purchasing the novel, that would be amazing. Yeah, the information, the details are in the description. The reason I started this channel is to indirectly maybe mention my book while I'm promoting others like Aurora. Yeah, that's about it for now. So let's take a listen. And like I said, I think I mentioned that I sort of put lyrics in this particular video to remind me to stop, because to try and get it through the copyright rules, which have become I think I mentioned, quite onerous. Yeah, here we go.
The world today has changed. You're no longer here, and I feel strange. Now every moment spent with you, and the love within my heart feels like a wound.
So just to stop for a second for the lyrics, okay? The world today has changed. You're no longer here, and I feel strange. Now every moment spent with you, and the love within my heart feels like a wound. I mean, this girl, she's just keeps surprising me. And at this point in her life, she's evolved into this mature a woman that seems to have this. She's like 30 now, going on 90, type of thing. Very, very profound, and she's just. I'm always surprised, yeah, beautiful lyrics, and who else can sing lyrics like this in such a beautiful melody? And her voice is fantastic. She's like, in my opinion, she's like Bob Dylan, the future Bob Dylan, in a sense, with her lyrics. I think that she has that ability. And she definitely has a better voice as well. So she's, like I said from a long time ago, an incredible talent. In my opinion, I think she's the top of the world, talent-wise. And I don't think there's anybody better than her. So at this point, anyway, let's go on.
Though it hurts, it feels good too. In the warmth of every memory I have of you, while I live on, and though love comes with pain,
Okay. So she says, and though it hurts, it feels good too. In the warmth of every memory I have of you. While I live on, and though love comes with pain, I never loved in vain. I mean, this last line especially, and though love comes with pain, I never loved in vain. I mean, this is exceptional writing. Wow, you know. If anything, if I take anything from any song, it would be that expression. It's very difficult to put aside, you know. And though love comes with pain, I never loved in vain, because it's so profound and it's so meaningful, and it's so true. Because that's all we really have is love, and it's never in vain. So, okay, let's move on. The other thing I just wanted to mention, if it's, I don't think it's my imagination, but I think there's the mechanism of a time clock, mechanism of time clock that is in the background as well, if I'm hearing correctly, which is quite a nice touch.
I hold on to all those days, to all those days. The times I had you here, the times I had you here in my embrace. The biggest gift I ever knew, biggest gift I ever knew was to love you, knowing was to love you, knowing too that you love me too.
Wow. I hold on to all those days, the times I had you here in my embrace. The biggest gift I ever knew was to love you, knowing that you love me too. I mean, I don't think there's anybody out there like Aurora with this type of talent that has the ability to transform a feeling of pain into something beautiful, which, in my opinion, is what art is supposed to be about. And she's a pure artist in every sense of the word. So, yeah.
And all the big sleep keeps you safe as she lets you close your eyes in her embrace. You can lie here forever in our hearts, as long as we're apart.
And now the big sleep keeps you safe as she lets you close your eyes in her embrace. You can lie here forever in our hearts, as long as we're apart. I mean, see, this is what I mean. She takes on the subject of death in such an endearing way, you know. Because she has, I think, a certain understanding that because the hardest thing, you know, for anybody to tackle is the concept of death. Very few people even spend, from my understanding, over a minute thinking about it, being able to think about it, because it's so scary. It is the scariest thing, you know, because there's a finality to it. And so what we do is we distract ourselves with a whole bunch of things, as long as we don't think about that. you know. And but thinking about it is, and this is the irony behind a lot of this, is that it is only through the understanding of what death represents, its significance, can one achieve enlightenment. So the whole idea of escaping the subject is actually against the person becoming enlightened. So you see that how difficult and and how life is, how the distractions that we have in life are actually impediments to our ability to evolve. And anyway, let's go on.
I can't forgive our stolen time, that I can't just have you sit here by my side. And I know I'll miss you all my years, but the weight of missing you is worth each tear.
I mean, really, I can't forgive our stolen time, that I can't just have you sit here by my side. And I know I'll miss you all my years, but the weight of missing you is worth each tear. Beautifully said, I mean, this is exceptional, and that's why I sort of stopped when I heard this. And I mean, there's nothing in the video in the sense of all that it is Aurora's just expressions, and still there's such a story behind just her expressions. But it's just so beautiful, it stands by itself. And this is, I think, a classic Aurora song, and it's just outstandingly beautiful. I don't know what else to say. Just everything about it. Yeah.
And still I feel you everywhere, in the sun that rises each morning, in summer air, in the mountains that sings, in the blossom in spring, in the autumn that cries, in each tear that I dry.
Still, I feel you everywhere, in the sun that rises each morning, in summer air, in the mountains that sings, in the blossom in spring, in the autumn that cries, in each tear that I dry. I mean, this girl, like I said, there's very few artists that touch my heart, And this girl, from the beginning, from when I heard that concert in that cathedral, and I was like flabbergasted. And before that, I didn't know anything about her. For months before that, people were, like I said, I had a friend in Norway that mentioned her, that how Aurora affected her, and like for me, it's much more difficult to get into an artist, liking artists and so on. But then I started to try and get to know Aurora, and I have a whole bunch of videos that I did, long videos of me trying to understand Aurora. So even before I heard her sing anything live or anything, before the concert, that I mentioned. But when I heard her at the concert, knowing how she was, because like I said, I had made quite a few videos by that time of her doing these live stream things, it just seemed like I sort of got to know her, and it affected me even more, that concert, which I think is the most beautiful concert I've ever heard and ever saw, So so this it makes me feel like that. It brings me back to when I first heard that concert a couple of years back, and this particular song. And that's what I just wanted to say.
In the shadows, in the snow, in the candle that glows, I can feel you. I can feel you. You'll be with me until we meet again, our darling and my friend.
Wow. Okay, so just to finish it, the lyrics: in the shadows, in the snow, in the candle that glows, I can feel you, I can feel you. You'll be with me until we meet again, our darling and my friend. Sounds like someone that maybe her family knew, and also a friend of hers, who was also a friend of hers. This is, like I said, she has a way of bringing about these emotions, that I think we all have. And that's what makes an artist, I think, exceptional. That she takes something that everybody feels and puts it into words and song and music. And she has this ability. And this is a song that will permeate throughout time. Because it's timeless, the subject and everything else. It's a perfect song. She speaks of, and it makes sense because she's holistic, and she feels that everyone is part of the earth, and basically we're stardust, and we're all part of everything else, and that's where. That's what I see here. And then she says, until we meet again. And I think I'm not sure what she would mean by that, but I think from her point of view, she's probably talking about meeting again in some kind of other form, whether it's part of the wind, a part of nature, because we're all part of that stardust type of thing. Maybe that's what she means. As for, the people meeting again in the sense of our personalities, our characteristics, have to believe in some kind of continuance of the self in after death, and the only thing I could say is that the only thing that exists after death that's within us is something that is permanent, and the self is not permanent. But what is permanent is unconditional love. That will exist throughout time, and in that way our unconditional love will meet again. Okay, and thank you, Aurora, and take care to all of you. Bye. Thanks for watching. Bye.